Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. Welcome to, well, we're headed to the other cabin, and whew, has today been a day. I have been super busy. I haven't even got around to filming this video, and it's already past 6 o'clock, and a bug's in my eye. And we've got 22 things headed out of here today, which is awesome. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. I thought I could finally dig into a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while and tie it to something that just happened the other day. I've been reported to eBay again. And so we're gonna get into that and look at a bunch of things that sold today, but I gotta do double time. Let's go take a look. All right, John, I'm gonna ask you to bear with me here. I'm gonna tie this up really quickly, I hope, and get to picking, because we do have 23 things headed out of here today, plus these two that I'm gonna mention right now that I shipped early. They said, this is a message, it's a Hair Max Professional 12 laser light device for hair growth, $125 plus shipping, and then a set of 3 posters for $24.50 plus shipping. And I shipped them out yesterday on a day I typically don't ship out. The request was, please ship this out as soon as possible. If you can't overnight, it would be amazing. It's for a cancer patient. I don't know how long we have. And I'm like, whew. And normally I just don't do that kind of stuff. But you know what? I read that, and I'm just working off the assumption that that is the truth. And so we had to get that thing out of here a little bit early. And then it got me thinking, wow, I did that for that person. And then I got a message the other day from somebody requesting something from me. I'm like, this person's an idiot. I'm not doing this. This is a pain in the butt. And I was like, you know, what should I do here? And so I'll read you this message really quick from this person, then we'll start picking. And then I'm going to tie this up, because this is some stuff I've been wanting to talk about. There's some current things going on that I just feel strongly about, and I've got messages from friends and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be something I want to talk about on a video. And then I thought, oh no, do I really want to go down this road again? You know, the videos around here have been a little bit different lately, and I've been saying things that I really feel strongly about. And, you know, the approval on the video is usually 99%, and it's, you know, some are 97, I had one that was 95 point something the other day. And that weighs on me. It seems dumb, right? 95% still give a thumbs up. Like, do I want to do this? And I'm like, you know what? I do want to do this. And I got a particular message from a friend a couple weeks back, or from an acquaintance, I should say, and I'm going to talk about that. And we've got a lot of stuff to cover. So let me read this to you real quick. Let me show you the item that we're referencing here. Somebody sent me a message. I'll show you the one that doesn't have a little case thing on it, about this right here. I'm going to go put it on the table or use it as a prop, I guess. And let me read you the message. I was at my boys' baseball game when I got it. This is a bit of a side point. I sure wish that eBay, you know how you're on an email and you can mark it unread? My email list and stuff, if something's unread, means I still need to deal with it. And if I'm on my phone, I can't mark a message to me on eBay unread. At least I don't know how to. If you know, tell me in the comments. But I think you can do it on your computer, but not on the phone. And so this person was asking a question. This was actually the second time they'd asked it. Don't feel like answering, so they had asked it, and I never responded because I was at my boys' baseball game. And then after that, I saw this message again a little bit later, and I was upstairs, not down here, with my kids watching a TV show. Don't feel like answering, I guess? You're a seller trying to sell something on eBay. I have a question before I buy it, and you won't answer me? Ignorant. I'm like, oh gosh. I'm like, here's the question. I guess I should have told you that. And mind you, this first one comes across while I'm literally watching my boy play ball. They're like, can you please, and I don't know, part of it was the way it was said, to be honest with you. They wanted me to measure the inside of this. They wanted me to measure the Camaro part of that right there. Obviously, I was 100 miles away from my house. I wasn't going to do it. But I didn't respond. And my first thought was, with the way it was asked and that type of question, I'm like, I don't even think I want this person buying this thing. It's a $10 something free shipping. I'm like, I don't even think I want to deal with it. And if truth be told, I do that often. If I'm out and about and somebody asks for something that I don't have, sometimes I'll screenshot it, set an alert in my phone, and I'll take care of it later. And sometimes I forget, and sometimes I don't respond at all. And then this person sends this message here. I didn't finish it. They say, you will be reported to eBay as a terrible seller. And then later on, 2 minutes later, they say, done. You've been reported. And I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty glad I didn't do this for this person. I thought, you know what? I could have got my butt up out of that chair upstairs and come down here and just sent him a reply. I never responded whatsoever to anything. And I probably could have said right there when I was at my boys' game, like, hey, you know, I'm 100 miles away from my house. You know, I'll try to do it when I get home. The reason I didn't is because I wasn't sure I was going to do it when I get home. And truth be told, y'all, sometimes when I get those messages, I purposely don't respond. And I know some people out there, they get out there and they'll block a person like that immediately and stuff. And I try not to do that. But I was like, man, I don't know. Is this person right? Is this something I'm doing wrong here? Should I have treated it differently? I still have not responded. I probably won't at this point. But I thought, you know what? Watched a video from my buddy Josh Galt the other day. And I'm like, man, maybe there should be a little bit better decorum, even dealing with people you don't really want to deal with. And then all the stuff that's been going on in my life lately, all this stuff kind of added up to, you know what, we can control our own actions. And that's what I'm trying to do. Oh my goodness, here we go already. Oh boy. I promise I won't let them distract too much here. And, well, let me tell you about this shirt. We'll get back to the topic. This is a Catwoman shirt, single stitch, vintage, no dry rot, absolutely amazing shirt right here. I hope Death Bob Picker's watching because I got it off of him years ago. And it didn't sell for what he thought it would go for. But you know what? It just sold years later for 70 bucks, 69.80, I don't know, something, 69 something and change, you know. And it sold, look at that. Check that out. 1992 DC Comics. Just an awesome looking shirt. Sold for 70 bucks plus shipping. You picked a perfect hiding spot for them dogs, didn't you? Yeah, that's right. So, of course, I was feeling that message the other day, and then I went out and shipped that hair thing that I showed you already, and I'm like, okay, you know, I feel good about that. You know, I went down here, I kind of inconvenienced myself to do that, and I felt like it was the right thing. And I thought, you know what? Just for a minute, let me put myself in the person's shoes who asked for that request, even though it was really inconvenient to me, and I'm like, yeah, I probably should have set the alarm and sent him a message and, you know, set it for right when I got home from the game or something and gone out here and taken care of it. And just putting ourselves in somebody else's shoes sometimes, because now that person has a bad experience on eBay. Now, I doubt, you know, talking about, you know, they've probably been selling for a long, or probably been buying for a long time. They're not leaving eBay. But, you know, we owe a little bit to each of the other sellers on this platform as well. So, while I don't like the comment, the way it was initially stated in the whole reporting to eBay and all that stuff, you know, I probably could have avoided that with a little bit of extra work, but I didn't really want that person to buy it. So I guess there's an upside to that. I guess I'll talk to you as I go out and get this next item out here. And I've said this often, you know, as this channel grows, as Commonwealth Picker channel grows, and all the stuff we do grows, you know, more and more people, they're critical. And I don't do well with that. I try to do better all the time. And, you know, all this stuff kind of all came together. Even little things like that bother me. It's not going to bother most people, but that stuff kind of bothers me. I'll talk to you on the way back. Let me find this bowl. All right, we're picking up a Murano pedal bowl or something. I'm not quite sure. It sold on 30% off. I don't want to break anything here, y'all. See if I can get it without breaking anything. I did it. And that one right there, pretty cool. Dusty now, but that sold for 42 bucks plus shipping. So I was mentioning before, you know, people know me in this space and they know when stuff happens that I don't take it very well, which is a weakness maybe, I don't know. But I thought, you know, I'm just going to keep being who I am, doing what I do, and trying to do the right thing and failing sometimes, and that's just okay with me. My buddy Brad, I don't know if he'd want me to mention who he is necessarily in this context, but he sent me a message and just wanted to encourage me, and even reminded me of an old poem that I had committed to memory that really hit home, and I'm going to read it later. For all you nerds, you can hang around with me, and we'll read that a little later. Now, I've been told in the comments of the Commonwealth Picker channel in the past that I've walked past turkey calls. I think this is the right one. I have to double check, make sure. Yeah, this is the right one. And some of them go for crazy and good money. So I picked some up that were cheap one day. And I did find one good one in there. This one wasn't one of them, but it's okay. $14.20 plus shipping. We have turkeys that go out here a couple times a year. So this person reported me, and, you know, it's probably just a placebo, if they did report me at all, you know, a placebo for them to make them feel better, and I get that. But in essence, you know, it's not going to have any effect on me or my sales, but it just got me thinking, you know, about how we treat each other, how we act toward each other, and if we ever put ourselves in the position of the other person. So this is from Kmart. I bought this in Florida with a whole ton of records and comic books for $100. And we made quite a bit of money on the records when we sold them, and the comic books. We sold them both live on Dibdit. But this was the only thing from that lot except for one record that we listed over here. And so we're way into the profit already. And then this sold. $24.95 for a Chicago Bulls three-peat Kmart poster plus shipping. And you know, we can't be everything to everybody. That's just a fact. We just can't be. And this, you know, and at the time, y'all, I thought, let me tell you this one first. This is an Emerson DVD VCR combo. Added this, had the remote, had the paperwork, and I picked it up at a sale with a whole ton of other stuff for 30 bucks. I think I paid him 40 because it was an acquaintance of mine. I'm like, you're giving me an unbelievable deal. And we're already in the profit. This sold for $84.95 plus shipping. So at the time, I thought, you know, you got to prioritize. You literally can't be everything to everybody. And so my boy was playing a game. When I was here earlier, I was with my family. It's like, you know, you got to weigh this stuff out. But at the same time, because initially I screenshotted this comment, and I'm like, I'm going to make a video about this. I've been reported to eBay again, and I was going to slam this person. I'm like, you know, they don't know that. They don't know I'm sitting at a game. They don't know I'm with my family. They don't know I'm some guy in a shed in the backyard as opposed to some, you know, whatever. They don't know. So I thought, maybe we really do got to do this a little bit better. And when we can, certainly communicate with buyers. Even the buyers, you know, I taught for a long time. So there was a lot of, I mean, let's be honest, if you're a teacher out there, there's a lot of kids you don't really like. Let's just be honest. But it's still your job. It's still what you're supposed to do. And if you've ever been in customer service, you know, some things you just got to deal with. I thought these used to be over here. They were over here forever, and now they're not because they weren't listed, and we decided to list them. And I don't remember what the heck I did with the dumb things. You know what? They're MCM. They might be down here. I'm looking for some bookends, y'all. Do you see bookends down here? Where the heck did I put the dumb things? Nope, not there. Hold on a minute. All right, I turned the camera off. Went all the way out to their shed. I'm like, maybe I didn't ever bring them in here and realize I set them right there. Brass seashell bookends. And they sold pretty quick. I thought they were listed in here forever, and they weren't. And we relisted them, $22. I can't believe I just went all the way out there. And one of these days, I'll get it figured out. Although, walking between sheds, I kind of enjoy. Even though a lot of people are like, why did you put it so far away? The short answer is easy. My wife told me where to put that shed. That's why I put it there. And this one's out here. But I'll tell you what, we got to extend each other a little bit of grace, even when we don't understand the circumstances, and not pop off and you know, jump to conclusions on stuff. And, you know, even though I am probably overly sensitive, no doubt about it, you know, I feel pretty comfortable, whether it's reselling or whether it's, you know, social media or dealing with people, that I'd rather be like this than completely ignore other people's opinions. You know, I'm going over here. I think I can get this without getting on a ladder. I think this is a Viking bowl. I think. But I don't know how to prove it, so I couldn't sell it for top dollar, I don't think. Maybe I can get it. Here we go. That right there, little finger, I don't know what it is. I'm not a glass person, but I'm learning. That one sold for $14.25 plus shipping. Now that I'm walking back here, I know there's one more thing I gotta still go in and get. You gonna come inside with me? Let's put this one here. Look at that, Glass Daddy. And what else is the next one? We got a tailor-made something. It's a tailor-made hat. I told y'all hat season is upon us. Golfing season is upon us. That's one of those square-looking hats. And it didn't sell for much. It was on clearance. No, it wasn't. $9.86 plus shipping. So I must have done a send offer on something. Don't know what I would, but I did. My guess is $10.95, 10% off, something like that. And that one sold. And let me tell you, if you have hats listed, if you ever want to, if you've never done this before, but delist and relist right now with hats, changing a little bit of something, maybe lowering the price just a little bit, I bet you get a few sales. Although I haven't done it yet. So $10 plus shipping. See a puppy here. Y'all, I sold these. Here's an example. I sold these the other day. I even said it on the last episode. And when I went to ship them, I double checked the listing. And I had them listed as 12-inch balls, not 11-inch balls. And so I had to send the guy a message, and he's like, yeah, I need 12. So here we go. Napa case. This one right here was awesome. It was at a sale in Georgia. And yeah, this is it right here. Sale in Georgia, full of cassettes, but none of the cassettes were anything I wanted. But I did ask her, and there's a daggone stink bug. I asked her, I said, hey, will you sell me this? I think I got it for $5. And it had one minor flaw. There's a little cracking in that one right there. But that is a nice Napa cassette case. I love them. You see I have one back there. And I don't need one right now. So sold it for $50, I think. $49.46 plus shipping. Ship these in a TV box. Get a flat screen TV box. And you can ship them in there. Cut the box down to the right size. You know, I usually try to avoid making absolute statements. And I did on these last few videos that a lot of people weren't happy with. And I was like, hey, that's fine. If you are such an absolutist in those things that aren't really that important, that you're gonna, you know, bail ship, that's okay with me. I've made peace with it. But, you know, I'm gonna make an absolute statement. Well, I'll do part of it now, but I'm gonna talk a little bit more personally at the end of this video, but I gotta get this stuff picked. I'll just say this now. I can say this for certain, that the people who are somewhat introspective in their lives and somewhat forgiving in their lives are the people that I naturally want to be around. And I hope I'm that, and I hope, you know, in the reselling world, which is what this video, which is what all my videos about, you know, I can't stand it when people put words in my mouth, especially when it boxes other people in. And I can't stand that, because I try not to do that, and I think it's the absolute worst thing you can do as a reseller. There is not one way to do this. There just isn't. You know, the unexamined life isn't worth living. The unexamined business isn't worth living. If it's possible to create a business that your personality fits into, it will succeed far better than if it is a tedious job. And I know people got to pay bills out there. And so that's sometimes a tough decision. So you have to weigh things out, you know, your family and your needs and your future and all that stuff. So all of that is part of the equation. But I don't say, hey, people have to niche down. People have to live sell. People can only sell on this platform. People can only do this. This is where you're going. You're an idiot if you don't do this. This is just how I do it. And I love having people who do it differently give me new ideas. Some Xbox 360 games can be good, and this I sold for a friend. This is Jess's Boys game, if I can find it. Where's SmackDown at? I don't even see it. It must be down here somewhere. I didn't put this one in here because I didn't list it, because she was listing her own boy's stuff. Xbox 360. Oh, it's right here. Look at this. Right behind here. Platinum Hits. It sold for $25 plus shipping, and it sold quickly. And so Chase, Jess's little boy, Turner's buddy, is going to get the money for that one right there, plus shipping. So we do have some older stuff here, like that one's super old. We have some new stuff, like that video game that was listed and sold quickly. This one right here, some NASA patches. I think I sourced these over on Dip It quite a long time ago. And they sold for $19.95 plus shipping. Y'all look like some sad puppies. Here's a category that some people miss, including myself for a long time. But rollerblades. I loved hockey growing up. And we lived in Southern California when the Gretzky era came to town. And of course, there's hardly any ice back then anywhere, except for up at Blue Jay. But these, I would play roller hockey on tennis courts. So I know that there are some rollerblades, in this case branded rollerblade, that are worth a bunch of money, because I used to buy this stuff. And so you pass up a lot, because a lot of it is absolutely worthless. But these had the little guards on them and stuff. Picked these up, did not sell forever, but they sold on 30% off. Y'all, these sold for $129.50. I think I paid $5 for them, plus shipping. All right, I sold an In-A-Man, and I'm looking around all the old places they used to be, and there's none left. So, oh, wait a minute. Check that out. I do have some right there. I thought I was going to have to start digging into there. And I'd made a decision when I saw there was nothing left but those. Now I've got new life. That I was going to start listing them over on Dibdit.com only. But now I think I might list one on each platform and put them up for auction for $1. as we're getting low, you know, every week or every other week or something. And that just makes me excited. Maybe that's why that looks so wonky. I think maybe my wife or my daughter or something went up there and got one to ship one time and then brought a bunch down there so they didn't have to go back up there. I'm hoping. I'm also hoping that that thing is full. My guess is there's probably cardboard or something in it, and that's just the facade of it. But Lee, thank you for buying this. A lot of new viewers, and they don't know what the heck this thing is. Let's just say it's a plush enema, and it gets things moving from your eBay store. We have, CommonwealthPicker.com, we have our own versions that aren't trademarked with the Fleet brand and all that stuff. So, anyway, Lee, thank you. There is one up right now for auction over there on Dibdit.com for $1. You probably get a little cheaper over there because there's not as many people over there as there is on eBay right now. I wasn't going to say anything else to the end of the video. I was just going to keep picking. And I'm still going to say that, but I just want to throw this out there too. A lot of this stuff, you know, when you take a leap of faith and you start doing things like we started our own marketplace and we're trying to build it, and, you know, people don't quite grasp all the things that go into it, and they're very highly critical of what's going on. And when they don't get the entire right perspective of what is going on, then they think you're out to get them, or you're, you know, there's all kinds of different ways to think about this stuff. And that's been a big stress on me for months now. And I'm finally coming to peace with some of it, knowing that I'm trying to do something, trying to build this marketplace with partners that I really like and trust. And, you know, if there's going to be some issues with it, we're just going to let it be. We're going to let those issues happen and do the best we can for the people that have joined us in that effort. And there's a lot of people watching right now who are like, oh, he's talking about this again or whatever, or they think it's whatnot, or they think whatever. And that's okay too. I've come to that conclusion. I've said this 100 times. I will likely always be an eBay seller. There will always be a static buy it now marketplace, and eBay will likely be the biggest or one of the biggest for many decades to come. And people will always find searchable buy it now items, and they will always go for a higher price than on all this live selling everybody talks about. But that doesn't mean that these other marketplaces aren't growing. And so I'm going to keep trudging forward, even though there's people on this channel who watch that don't want to hear it. I think it's important to expose people to different things and let them choose for themselves. I mean, I used to secretly kind of chuckle at people that sold clothes all the time. I'm like, who'd want to do that? I still chuckle at people that sell shoes because I still don't want to do it. But the more I learn about stuff, it's like, man, I'm not going to pass up on this stuff. This is a sweet one. I think I listed this too low. Super Show, the Lowrider Super Show in Vegas, October 2015. I put it out there for 22 bucks. It sold like that, plus shipping. I used to feel the same way about people who would ship odd-shaped things, large things, and whatever. And I'm like, man, and I learned from them and got better. And I still don't do all kinds of stuff like that. I'm not shipping furniture, for instance. And MCM stuff, which I learned a lot from different folks, Lady Arbitrage being one of them, which is who I got these from at a highway sale that they didn't want to haul everything home. Sirocco, diamond shape wall decor, this Roman design, it says, yeah, look at that. And that one sold for $18.95 plus shipping. You can find this stuff for $1 all the time. They can be slow sellers though, so you got to be careful and make sure you're comping out and looking at the ASP for this kind of stuff. Or I should say the sell-through rate. ASP, for those of you who are new to this, is average sale price. STR is sell-through rate. Not gonna lie, this next one is pretty cool. I love this thing. It is a Bugler cigarette roller. Little rolling machine right there. And that one sold quickly. We've had a lot of old items and sell quickly items go lately, which is, I love it. That's the perfect scenario right there. That one sold for $24.95 plus shipping. There was an old address on that. So the lady who bought that, her name was, I love this name, Bertha Lavender. That was her name. Yeah, we have this fence out here, this underground fence for the dog. So Pepper knows when she wants to escape, she just has to go beyond that boundary. You know, in my early days of buying glass here, I have hit some home runs and I have struck out. This is somewhere in between here. This one's been here for a while. It did sell. It's got a stink bug in it. It did finally sell. It's like a swung vase, but I don't know. I don't think it's high dollar, but well, I know it isn't because it sold for $17.46 plus shipping. But you know, I'll take that. All right, she's hiding from you out here. You're tearing that thing up, aren't you? Not really looking forward to packing that for just $17, but I'll do it. This next one came from that giant pile of death pile pickers that he wanted to get rid of. He still has a giant pile, massive, but you know, hey, I helped him out, and he helped me out. $22. This is Philips Go Gear, if you remember that. Sold quickly for $22 plus shipping. All right, we got a great example back here of what I'm talking about, and just generally in this video. I've been stressed out about this for a couple days, and I cannot find. Look what somebody sent me, and they're going to be so. I'm so embarrassed to say I cannot remember the person who sent this to me. I know it was a Dibdit seller, and they sent this to me to be nice. And I look back through all the messages. So you tell me in the comments who you are, so I can give you a proper thank you. They found this at a Goodwill. It's Evo Shield. It's my size, and it has the emblem of the travel team that my boy plays on. And they sent it to me. How incredibly nice, and I can't even give you, whoa! Oh, y'all, look what you're doing. Any rate, thank you. Deal Diggers, and I'll be embarrassed when you tell me, because I should know who did that, because I communicated with you for weeks, and I can't even find it. Deal Diggers, thank you for an amazing message. You know, I'm gonna have to go shut that door. Thank you so much for stopping in our first thread show and helping. Yeah, absolutely. You guys are awesome. Go follow them over there on Dibdit and Dibdit Threads. And this is something I had bought off of them, and I bought it for my boy because he likes this stuff, and he's a size medium. And another giant thank you to Bodega Finds and her husband as well. Ginger King, Card Kingdom, they sell on DibditCards.com. She sells on DibditCards.com, Dibdit.com. Just amazing people right here. And thank you for the kind message. Who does that, y'all? Who does it? Who takes the time? There are people out there. It makes me feel like an awful person. It's just super, super kind folks. Haven't sold a bowling ball bag in forever, and I sell 2 in a week. But both on 30% off, so the market must not be great for them. $17.46 plus shipping. Saw another 30% off sale come across the screen. I'm not going to go pick it because I got to go to my folks' house here in just a second. But I'm going to show it to you. Life Magazine, it's JFK. And I guess they're both JFK and Jackie. Life Magazines, 30% off, $13.96 plus shipping. And so that was an old listing, and this is a brand new listing. So the trend continues. This is Endless River, Pink Floyd Endless River CD set in a box, not new, but it's still sold, and it sold for $16, 95 cents plus shipping, and it sold quickly. All right, so I ask your indulgence here. I said I'd read this. It makes me, you might see me emotional at times. There's a lot of stuff I don't share because there's no point in it, because this is a reselling channel. It's not a, you know, philosophy channel or whatever, but I really do think that this kind of stuff feeds into the day-to-day operations and how we live our lives, and it all affects our business and how we make money and how we treat other people. And I've been dealing with this in my own mind unnecessarily for well over a month. And I'm going to read this, and it'll get it off my chest. Y'all can laugh at me if you like, and that's okay too. So thank you to Brad for reminding me. I used to, if I tried to do this from memory, I could do okay, but I'm not going to do it because I know I'll screw something up and it'll take me forever to edit it. But this is a poem that, it was from Rudyard Kipling. I've talked about Kipling before. It was a time in my life where I was, and I never share it, but I was down. That's an understatement. I was down and out. And there were just certain people in my life and faith and stuff that really kept my head above water. That was before I met my wife. So if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too. Which, if you watch my channel, you know that I try to do so many of these things. And like I said, just let me get it off my chest and you can go about your day. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting. That's a big part of this business. Let me just read it. I could comment. There's commentary every line of this thing, but I'm going to avoid it. I'm just going to read it, and maybe some of it relates to you. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stop and build them up with worn out tools. All right, that's the part that hits home, so I had to stop for a second. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose, and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can walk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth the distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. So, there, I did it. I'm happy I did it. I would encourage some of you who may need this to just find that poem and read through it and look at the lines. It really is a guide that's just invaluable, and I thank you for sending that one to me again, reminding me of it. So I appreciate you. Thanks for bearing with me today, y'all, and I cannot wait to see you next time.